Yani 20,000 unapewa na vitisho. Atasiacha wewe.
Disclaimer.
By the way, bonus zinakuja at the end of the month. We are in October, is normally paid at the end of October. But it pains me to see the kind of effort people put to actually bring up these cash crops. Coffee, tea, maziwa. I mean, you hear that a company is buying 28 shillings a liter of milk. And then you go to the supermarket, you realize that half a liter packet is over 50 shillings. That makes that a kg 100 over 100 shillings worth. A liter of milk going for 100 shillings, na mwenye aliproduce alilipa 28 shillings. I mean, even if you were to do the cost of actually putting value on that milk, you find that the farmer has been oppressed. And I think that is what the government ought to concentrate on. You know, when the Jubilee government said that they said they were going to construct how many houses?
Who is counting?
Yes, I hear, no, somebody counted.
Yes, Sankoka actually articulated it. How many per year?
I can't remember. But you know, I was not interested talk about the houses. What was interesting me is the provision of employment to those people, because if you were to come down to how many people are used to construct each unit, I saw we were looking at almost 800,000 young Kenyans getting a job for over 2 years, something to one. That is actually what was the interest of me. But you see, this government has vacated from such a project that, number one, even as we leave people kona nyumba, I was looking, imagine we were doing housing in Kibera, for instance. We pick about 200,000 young men in Kibera and they are given a job for 2 years. You know, that for me, that was the beauty of that particular agenda of housing, which this government has. I'm told if they have made many units, that's Jefika 200 in the last 3 years. So, can this government stop the nonsense of BBI, the nonsense of who will be president for 2022? They have a responsibility for the next 17 months to deliver to Kenyans what they promised they will. And I want the president to forget about the capital projects, because you see, I like how Kibaki selectively took upon a few capital projects. And still, you know, today the border industry was opened up by President Kibaki. As he was doing a mega project in Thika Road, he was also because I remember they were in talks with China. Most of these border coming from China. And it opened, I mean, ukiachwa na gari kitambo, ulikuwa unaenda mguu. That opened the small economy in the sense that we had so many border guys come up, they have their daily bread. It was possible for me to be picked in my house and get to where I work in time, therefore making sure that I am able to become productive maximally because I'm getting to job in time. And I think that is where the president has failed. He has failed in the balancing act. Even as you do these capital projects, what is it that you are doing to uplift the life of those Kenyans who are living below $1? Are you coming up with projects that are going to help them? You know, and empower them. And I keep on saying, kazi kumtaani is not empowering people. Kazi mtaani, it is like the way me and a group of friends tumeshikana every Friday, we give street food kids, street kids tunawapatia chakula. That is kazi mtaani actually.
It does not make an impact.
Empower anybody. It does not empower anybody. Empowering anybody BTOK is ensuring that I leave you with the know-how. I leave you with the knowledge to be able to make a shilling tomorrow. Whether I will be there or not, BTOK will still make a shilling.
Make a shilling for themselves.
That project is coming to an end in January. I mean, can you come up with programs and projects that are going to empower young people? don't just concentrate on mega projects. It is okay, you are tarmacking all Nairobi. I saw the NMS opening up an asphalt plant to do tarmacking in Nairobi. But other than just making sure that the city is beautiful, are you ensuring that the people who live in that city have money in their pocket? Because if they don't, then they pose a security challenge to
those who have it.
To those who have and those who are manning security apparatus in the city. So I think this government has deliberately failed in the balancing act of the capital project and issues that affect the common mwananchi. And I keep on saying this, the problem is that the Honorable Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta surrounded himself with the Psychophants. They do not tell, they are like the court poets those days. The king of Babylon used to have court poets who would go before the king. May you live forever. You will live forever, my king. We can never have a king like you. These people surrounding the president are simply court poets. They do not know how to tell the king that he is naked. And that, I think that's where the mistake is. You require, as much as you require court poets as the leader of the nation, you also require advisors and people surrounding you who
can tell you
the truth, regardless of how bad it is. And I think that is where Uhuru Kenyatta has missed the mark. Everybody surrounding him is a psychophant. They do not want to challenge the president on some of the mistakes he's making. That's why I tell you, the president nowadays does not even review the speeches he comes and reads. Otherwise, if he reviews them, we would see actions. How many speeches have we seen him do? And using the word I directed, I have instructed. And down the year, 2 years, I can tell you of almost 15 speeches where the president either says, I directed, I have instructed, but those instructions have never been followed. Didn't you see the president instructing county government to pay contractors? In Kiambu, you have a contractor who did a job in 2014 and has never been paid. But the government made an instruction. Actually, that instruction came with a rejoinder that if you do not pay contractors, we will stop you from getting money. We have not seen counties being denied money for not paying these contractors, because the president only comes and reads a speech that is written, and he does not care about what happens. As long as he has delivered it to the letter, he does not care about the results.
Right.
And I think that is where the president is missed. He needs people to tell him, as a king, you're naked.
You're naked. All right. Asante sana. Bunge la Mwenyeji pia iko wazi. Bunge la Mwenyeji is open. Bunge la Mwenyeji is open. You can call in and contribute 0779-800-010 or 779-800-010. Na pia kuna section ile ya tujengane. Kama kuna biashara unafanya unaitupa pale, alafu tunaipiga shout out haraka upesi sana ile wanataka waweze kupea biashara pia. Bunge la Mwenyeji iko wazi 0779-800-010.
I have also seen somebody called Calvin Muondo saying P. Mushendo should know the role of NMS. It is not NMS role to ensure that money is in people's pocket. I know that is not the role of NMS, but that NMS is being powered by who? It's being powered by the president. We have given the president the responsibility to provide an enabling environment for people to make money. So let him not confuse issues. I'm not saying that NMS is in charge, but it is being powered by the very person we have entrusted with the authority to create an enabling environment for us to do business and get money in the pocket.
All right. Hello. Good morning. Yes, sir.
Morning, sir.
Habari asubuhi dadi.
Niko mzuri.
Leta habari.
Mimi niko poa. Awi daktari.
We are good. Habari bwana.
Mimi niko poa daktari.
Asante ndugu.
Salimia Mwishendo.
Mesalimika ndugu yangu.
Sasa.
Yes, sir.
Unajua hapa daktari amesema ukweli. Uhuru, I don't know, the problem is that all the people who could have told Uhuru the truth wamefukuzwa. Alafu sasa wamebaki na ile watu wameona tu hii miaka moja ama ni mbili imebaki hii ni ya kukula. Hawataki kuambia ukweli.
Kulamba sana.
Uhuru Uru has been issuing instruction. Kama alisema sijui ati he wants 30% of the tenders to be given to the youth, women and people with disabilities. Here in the fly in the face. He directed a lot of things. Hakuna kitu inafanyika. So we are just used to lip services by him.
Okay. So hakuna mtu
unajua niliona hii kitu ya what happened in Manyani. Hii protocol issues. What is your take? What is
wacha ndauliza wa majamaa what is their take on the protocol issue, kwa sababu mimi ni pastor tunaendesha kwa hii kanisa lakini siwezi sema iko kitu. Sawa, ndauliza dadi. Alafu ile maneno yako ndakupa ripoti leo.
Haya sawa,
na asante sana, tunashukuru sana.
Haya.
Thank you, have a good day. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Gerald.
How are you, sir?
Very fine. I'm Ruben Roque, calling from Lesotho, Nandi County.
Oh, yes, Ruben. Habari ya Lesotho?
Salama sana. I've been following what you have been talking.
Yes, sir. Hello? Umenyonga mtoto akaamua kwenda na simu. Haya. Habari yako watu wa New Jersey?
Mzuri sana bwana Gerald, habari ya wewe?
Salama sana. Umetutupa bwana.
Niko salama kabisa.
Ni majukumu tu. Mimi tu moda iliniuma sana.
Nini imekuuma dadi?
Wakati wameenda Manyani. Si Ruto akiwa ameweka mikono kwa serikali ambayo alifanya bidii na juhudi kuitengeneza kweli.
Ni kweli imekuuma,
Did I see that?
Hata mimi nimesikia mtu ameona.
That it is the people who gave those people those positions. And they did not give them individually, but they gave them as a collective because each one of them has a constituent. People that are following them. And they are the reasons that they voted for Jubilee in collectively, because individually every person alikuwa anakuja na watu wake. Na ndio maana wakavunja URP, TNA na kila kitu. Na tukikumbuka kabisa Gerald, mimi nikikurudisha nyuma. Wakati wa campaign, Daktari William Samoei Kipchirchir Arap Ruto alikuwa anapiga campaign 5 kabla rafiki yake hajaamuka kuja kuhutubia wananchi kwa mkutano ya kwanza. Tunaelewana?
Hao watu walijezi mnaongea.
Rafiki yake alikuwa amesanitize bana.
In this case, kama ni mtu ambaye anatakiwa kuwa na shares kwa hii serikali, yeye ako na 85%. 85.
Alisikia wapi?
Sasa kama tunaona yeye anashika mkono nyuma, mwingine anajifanya hivi hata apei nafasi ya it is a fallacy to see even educated people being psychophants to a point of not even thinking of what they are doing. Really? Are you forgetting that this is your boss, that you are doing this? Ati unapatiwa na deep state, sijua anaitwa deep state ama state, sijua anaitwa aje, wanakupatia nguvu. Ati nafikiri hiyo ni deep stick, kama ni ya kupima oil. Kama hivyo wewe unapatiwa nguvu na watu wengine ambao wanakufanya wewe unadhulumu mtu boss wako. A time will come, my friend, they say power is temporary. Let us wait and see, because 2022 nobody knows who will be there and those who will not be there. But if we'll be there, God will shame some people.
Let me ask you, my brother.
God will shame some people.
Bro,
thank you very much.
Nimekusikia imekuuma, sasa nataka nikuulize swali.
Yes.
Do you think these politicians ever learn? Because the people who are sitting at the table of oppression right now are the ones who are being oppressed the other day. Do you think these politicians actually ever change? Orengo mwenye alisema the system, the what? Revolution will eat its own children. He's always sitting pretty today, and he's okay. Do you think...
You know what, Gerald? I want to answer you very, very honestly.
Yes.
Wakati rais wetu Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta walishikana pamoja na Dr. William Kipchirchir Samoei, walisema tunataka kubadilisha barabara ya siasa ambayo tumepitia, ambayo imeweka wananchi wetu kwa hali ambayo wako. And they had a blank check from wananchi. They were given a blank check to do all the things that they can do to help alleviate that and move us from that point and unite everybody. But you cannot burn bridges to construct others. Kama unataka kuvunja bridge ya 10 million ndio utengeneze ya 2 million, where are you heading?
Sasa ndugu yangu,
it is a pity that we had given them a blank check to unite us. Sisi tunataka wananchi wote, and you can see Gerald, kwa hii hata wakati State House ina post picha yoyote kwa Facebook, just look at it and see how much wananchi are crying for unity, for these two people to come together. All of them are happy when they are saying, oh, tunaona sasa rais wetu ako na deputy. Why is it that people are yearning for unity, where else there are people in the deep stick that wants to separate the people? For what reason? For what reason?
Hey, leo tunapata mpya inaitwa deep stick.
For 2022.
All right,
Thank
bro.
you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a good night all the way from New Jersey. Salimia New Jersey.
Asante.
Asante sana. Mtutumie kitu ya Trump huko iteremke tukula hata sisi.
Kama kawaida.
Haya, asante daddy. Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you so much, bro. Haya, daktari, wacha nikupe kwa sababu ona masaa yako inaharibika. Maybe you respond. And also there is a case that I saw yesterday. Kuna wakili alikatwa mikono, jana ametuacha. What is going on bana with these kind of things that are happening in this country?
Yeah, he's a very young lawyer that has succumbed to the torture. There is investigation. I saw Harvey raise an issue whether the police have capacity to be neutral, being that this is one of their colleagues that butchered the lawyer. I think for Kenyans, I want to end in a high note because I've observed that everybody is doing their mischief, but at least claiming a portion of the Constitution. So I think the 2010 Constitution has become the most organizing and trendsetter than ever. Even the bad people are claiming a portion of it, whether they are misinterpreting and saying, according to Article this. Even when teachers strike and everything that is done in Kenya now have a color, it might not be exact, but have a color or a claim of the Constitution. I think what Kenyans need to do is keep being resilient. I think Kenya has shifted because I see that articulation by that old lady. She understands what is going on. She is very clear what she needs. And therefore, when people think that we are in an age where you can simply come and say, I have chosen this path, walk ye therefore. For God so loved the world that he gave us his own begotten son. That cannot work in this generation. People are meant to chart their own path. Even in the universities, watu wamekuwa vichwa ngumu. These are not generation unaambia because I've said so. You must persuade them. Yes, you must persuade them. You must convince them. Even in the house, the small children there, even in the churches, the pastors who thought mimi ndio shepherd hapa, it has not gone well. So it is up to the politician to understand the time they are operating in. They are operating with people who are conscious and awake. And that consciousness, especially now the one that we are hearing, the class consciousness, where they are talking of the rich and the poor, then it becomes a very strong fodder because now people are rallying around their own interest. And now people can say, interest yangu iko hapa, interest yangu iko hapa. So Kenyans, look for your interest, mark your interest. And once you find where your interest lies, go for it. Of course, the caller is regretting the Jubilee saga. We say
now Jubilee is a saga.
we say in the Luo that the elephant task become heavy for the elephant. So if you are in Jubilee, you are carrying the elephant task. You find the task heavy. It is your task. Just carry it to maliza safari. Thank you.
There's something that I've been mentioned as well that has come out twice. Maybe just respond on that before I let you go. The issue of insubordination or breach of protocol in Manyani.
Yeah, you know, I'm not so much. I think part of it is creation of media. Part of it is Matiang'i's own personality and shamelessness. Because, you know, I don't think President invited him and told him, wait for me and be the first one on the plane. Right. I think that was his own innovativeness and his own kind of angling.
Self-deployment.
So that you can see I have power.
In short, you know,
right.
You keep decorating it with so being many words. It was simply Kiherehere Matiang. I'm very sure, and especially the president was riding on an army.
Daktari, you're ready to leave? All right. See you. Thank you. Have a good day. Tumaliza hapa na mshendo shughuli. Daktari ameitwa pale, najua ndiye anaenda kusimamia maneno ya Jubilee saga. Mambo ya Jubilee saga. All right.
You know, I would try to say that people have within government, psychophants within government have nicknamed Matiang the Super Matiang until that superness has refused to leave his head. Therefore, I foresee a situation where if you look carefully at where the deputy president was standing, you would realize that it was a very well crafted lineup to receive the president. You can always tell that Matiang'i has rushed from somewhere anakuja na kihelehele yake to be the one receiving the president, because apparently he has been nicknamed the Super CS, and the superness has refused to leave his head. So I would say that that was very unfortunate. It was nothing short of humiliation to the deputy president when he has to play second fiddle to a minister who is a beneficiary of the campaign between the president and the deputy president. So it's unfortunate, but then the political intrigues have just started and we are gearing toward 2022. We expect such mayhems to go on. Who knows? You might see a protocol being breached tomorrow at Gusii.
Nimesikia kwanza wameanza kusema nyinyi mtaka kwenda kuleta fujo huko Kisii.
You know, I mean, with this government, any madness is expected. I mean, surely. Who does that?
I saw yesterday my good friend Osoro, Silvanus Osoro, mbunge wa South Mugirango, alikuwa ameleta complaint akasema anatafutwa na polisi, wanasema yeye anataka kuleta vita pale Kisii, and they are saying those guys will not access that. Nasikia wanaitwa they are unwelcomed guests. So you guys, the government is waiting for you.
You see, when you're talking about a national celebration, it is supposed to be a national celebration for everyone. More so elected leader, because the people of South Mugirango have exercised their very well elaborate right in our constitution. That is Article 1. They can exercise the constitution directly. The authority of the constitution is vested on the people of the Republic of Kenya. They can exercise it directly or indirectly. In this case, the people of South Mugirango have exercised their power through their MP, Silvanus. So it will be absurd for the police to start claiming anataka kuleta funjo. That will be the first one, because we have seen national celebrations, even those people who are at loggerheads, we have always respected the national celebrations, because we respect, especially this one, we are celebrating the Mashujaa Day, and I expect that the police must do their work without victimizing others. Have you seen the Standard of today? Talking about that soon the DCI and the NIA,
yes, to be controlling Harambes.
They will be controlling Harambes. It's the most absurd thing we have had. If it is about controlling Harambes, the psychophants surrounding the president are always in and out of Harambes any other day. The same way the deputy president is doing. So I would say that whether you are in Kiereweke or you are in Tangatanga or you are there between, the role must be seen to be applied equally to every Kenyan. If you go against or you contravene the constitution, you equally face the consequences regardless of your affiliation. But today, we see that if you want to be clean and as white as snow, you just need to support BBI. See the governor, the Migori governor. The Migori governor is now a darling of ODM.
But he's very sharp. Ni kama ataenda aikorogesha kando.
Lakini si unajua, you know Raila Odinga in the first place did not want the governor to be re-elected. But unfortunately, he's just like a cat. He has 9 lives. He keeps coming back and keeps coming back. 2 months ago, you would have been told he is now in a pit. He cannot come out.
Now he's back here.
Today he's back here.
Right, that's politics of the day. Aya, sasa Mushendu, takoli yako ya siku utasema ni vipi?
I still want to challenge government on the housing issue there, amongst the agenda for housing. The reason why this agenda is very important to me, it is number one, it would have created house ownership by over 22%. Of Kenyans who do not own houses would have owned houses. But the most interesting thing about this particular agenda, it is the young people who would be provided to work. Because if we are talking about doing about 40,000 units of houses, every house would probably, if you are to subdivide every unit, would probably require 1 fundi, require watu watatu wa mkono. That is 4 people per unit working for almost a year. If you do 4 people by 40,000 units, that is about 160,000 young people with an employment for a whole year. And it would have shaped the lives of the young people, especially who are living within the city. So I therefore want to challenge the Jubilee government that even if you deviate from the other agendas, this agenda of housing, you must come back to it. You must substitute this with BBI. BBI is not going to give anybody a job. It is not going to empower anyone. It is not going to expand any young person's life. So I still insist that this government has to retract its steps, especially when the housing agenda is concerned, because the ripple effect of putting money on that particular agenda is the employment, the jobs that we promised the young people that they will have. So therefore, I want to humbly request the President and the Jubilee administration, can you kindly reconsider and put up money on the that agenda, particularly the one for housing, because it has a ripple effect in terms of job creation, especially with the post-coronavirus effect, economic effects. If you can revive that particular agenda, it will go a long way in addressing the issues of joblessness in this city. It will address the issue of joblessness in our urban towns. Therefore, I seek and I beseech the Jubilee government, kindly revert to that particular agenda so that we can provide a livelihood for our young people who are currently struggling.
All right. By the way, it's also 13 years since the reggae musician anaitwa nani Lucky Dube aliuliwa pale South Africa. Watu wanasemanga South Africa. Nasema since he was married in South Africa, his soul continues to rest in peace, but his music lives on, and that's the essence of life, by the way. Ukiulizwa leo Mushendu, wewe ulikuwa unakoa hapa unasema uko na homa. Ukienda leo, what is that will be remembered about you, Mushendu?
I think I'll be remembered as a fearless person who has never failed to point out. I know I have rattled the rich and the mighty at a risk of probably being eliminated out of this world. But I do not want my daughter, when she is 25, to remember me as a coward. I would want her to remember me as a fearless father who stood for what is right. So if today I was to go, I would know that I have not sugarcoated the truth. I have basically said the things as they are, and I keep on saying. And just for the avoidance of doubt, one of the problems that is ailing this republic, it is that the president and the head of state has failed to separate the issues of the state and that of the family business.
All right. That's interesting. All right. Lagadibe continues to rest in peace 13 years later. Aluliwa. And the thing is, you know, one thing in life is you have to live for something. And his music was not just music. It was about the conscience of a people.
Precisely.
You know, in fact, what he's playing right now is about together as one.
Precisely.
You know, and he was speaking about Africa. At the end of the day,
Yeah,
different colors, different backgrounds,
I'm
different days.
telling you, the moment that 13 years today we are still listening to those renditions is enough evidence that he left a mark before he left this world.
Oh, that's what you all decide.